Hello and good day, this is Miss Xiao. The next part of my video shows you how to calculate certain expressions. Let's take a look at these questions. They are taken from the 10-year series from the normal technical stream. Calculate this fraction. So let's take a look. This is a fraction, and so there must be a numerator and a denominator. How do I come up with this? Well, if you remember, this is the fraction button. So I could press the numbers in the numerator first. So I have 4.53 plus 1.18. Okay, and I want this whole bunch of numbers to be in the numerator. Now, if I were to start pressing our the fraction button, you realize, oh, only 1.18 becomes part of the fraction, but I don't have 4.53 as the fraction. So what could I do? Well, instead of pressing the fraction button over here, what I need to do first and foremost is I will have to group whatever that is in the numerator into one set. So I'm going to make use of the bracket to group this entire expression, and from here, this entire expression, I want to make it in as the numerator of the fraction. So from here, I put the fraction, I press the fraction sign, and you realize everything now goes up. Now, denominator, my cursor is at the denominator, so what I do now is I am going to put in all the numbers in the denominator here onto the screen, and I'm also going to box that up using a pair of brackets. So open bracket, 6.13 minus 2.39, close bracket. So this would be my answer. So if I'm asked to calculate, this would be my answer. 571 out of 374. Next, let's take a look at the next question. Use your calculator to work out this, giving your answer as a decimal. Okay, so let's figure out. In the numerator, we have 1 plus 2 plus 3. Denominator, 5 plus 6 plus 7. And in order to have 1 plus 2 plus 3 all in the numerator, we have to group them together by binding them using a pair of brackets. So one bracket, 1 plus 2 plus 3, close bracket. Now after I have grouped them into together, I will now press the fraction button and my cursor will be at the denominator. So denominator, I'm going to group 5 plus 6 plus 7 together, and there goes. So my answer is 1/3. Now, if you look at the question says give your answer as a decimal. So how do we change this into a decimal? And I think you will remember we have the SD button. So we press SD and we have 0.33333. Now, this is a recurring decimal. So in order to write our answer out, it will be 0.3. Now, because the 3 repeats, right? So we need to put a dot on top of the 3. Next, 1 out of 5 plus 2 out of 6 plus 3 out of 7, giving your answer as a fraction. So these are 3 individual fractions. Let's form the first fraction. So the first fraction, you press 1, fraction button, 5. So that's 1 out of 5, right? To move on to the next fraction, I have to get my cursor out of the denominator. So how do I get it out of the denominator? I will press the right of the replay button. So you realize that it comes out, yeah? Previously it was at the bottom. Now I press 1 time to the right, it goes out of the fraction. Okay, plus 2 out of 6. Okay, again, my cursor is at the bottom. I need to get it out. Plus 3 out of 7. And there goes 101 out of 105. So that's our answer. Now, let's take a look at further examples over here. These are taken from Topical Maths. It's from an NA book. Let's take a look now. We have 57 plus 67 times 38. Try along with me. So we realize that this is quite a basic function, basic expression, no special keys needed, right? And it's not a fraction. So we just press in the values that we see on the paper. So 57 plus 67 times 38. Okay, do a check. Did we press in the correct numbers? Yes. Then following that, we press the equal button. So 2603. Next, 585 divided by 65 divided by bracket minus 3. So 585 divided by 65 divided by, okay, now I need to create a bracket. Open bracket first, put down minus 3 and close the bracket. Negative 3. Third one gets a little more complicated. It's longer. 134 minus 16 times 153 divided by 51, close bracket, minus 48 times 23. Check that whatever you have typed in is the same as whatever that's on the calculator. Sometimes the expressions are so long, you see this arrow, right? Arrow tells you that, yeah, there are some more numbers to your left, okay? So if you use the replay button again, you go backwards, you actually see the front part of your expression, yeah? Okay, so that's how you toggle around. Interesting, right? Okay, from there we press the equal sign and we get negative 1018. Now finally, let's take a look at, super long one. And you realize that there's not just one bracket, but 3, right? We have the normal bracket, we have the square bracket, and we also have the curly bracket. Okay, so how do we go about this? You realize that in your calculator, there's only one kind of bracket. However, if you were to have a bracket within another bracket, this second bracket that is outside is actually represented by the square bracket. And if you do have a third pair of brackets, okay, the one that is outside, this is actually the curly bracket. So when you type in different brackets into the calculator, you need to know which bracket represents which specific type. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look anyway. So with such a long expression, let's break it down. I'll type all the way to this portion first, then let me just do a first round of check. So we have 42 times bracket 35 plus 27, close bracket. Okay, check. Yes, correctly done. All right, now I'll move on to this portion and I will stop here where the division sign is. So minus, okay, I have how many brackets here? 2, right? So 1, 2. 471 plus 589. Close bracket, one time, divide. Okay. Now, the next portion. So the next portion will continue here. Okay, so with 2 brackets, minus 2, close bracket, minus, okay, open bracket, 264 minus 29 times 9. How many brackets to close it up? 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do a check before we hit the answer, the equal button. So let's see. Okay. So 471 plus 589, close bracket, divide by Okay, bracket minus 2 minus bracket 264, subtract 29 times 9 and 3 brackets to end. Okay, I think we are quite done. So 2816. That's our answer. Did you manage to get them?